You've also spoken about the fact that the times when he was sort of out in public, there was more of an open battle of ideas, where conservatism often had, William F. Buckley. He had a more vibrant, deep debate over ideas, where it seems less deep now.
I mean, that is the thing that it's hard, especially like for the students I teach today, to be like, there were arguments about ideas and conservatives won a bunch of them, and that happened in the 70s and late 1960s to 1970s when one set of arguments was about economics. Like, okay, this idea of stimulating the economy by spending more, it has a downside. The downside's called inflation. And the downside's called too much regulation. And you've gone too far in kind of bottling up the actual sources of economic growth and dynamism, and we have to let those free. In social policy, there was also a critique. The Great Society had all these ideas of ending poverty, and people came and analyzed them and said the programs aren't helping. In some ways, you've actually created engines to trap people in poverty because you've given them a benefit and said if they actually start to work, they lose the benefit. You've created all these perverse incentives. And these ideas were fought out. They were empirical. They were controversial. And they were based on really deep research and really deep argumentation. And so it seems that era has passed. It seems like we're driven much more quickly by moods rather than thought through ideas. Right now, it seems like the ideas come after they follow the political mood and try to put together the underpinning of it, where it really was the opposite for much of the 20th century.
It does seem like we lead with emotional turmoil.
Right.
And the ideas follow versus lead with the ideas, and the emotion of the masses respond.
Right, exactly. So if we think of the evolution of conservatism, it was a whole set of ideas that was crafted, refined, the 1950s, 1960s, 1970s, sort of really found their emotional standard bearer, translator, salesperson in Ronald Reagan, who incidentally had been following these ideas as they developed and had been honing his ability to express them and apply them politically. It's a very opposite if we look at Trump as the political definer of the era. There's a set of ideas, but it was more attitudes, impulses, vibes, and the ideas are coming after that, trying to figure out how they patch on. So it's interesting to watch, to see that difference. And I hazard that a lot of it just has to do with the immediacy of the media environment we're in, and it's just power of the media messages to get out so fast.